Hey, what's going on, bootstrappers? All right, this is a YouTube live. Trying one of these things now. So, hey, I want to share a quick idea with you. It's something that I'm going to share a couple of out of the box ideas and then one that's probably just going to blow your mind. So, here's the thing. So, I bought a lot of real estate over the years. I've done it very creatively with either zero money out of pocket, no money down, or the sellers actually paid me, like, hey, Ryan, take my property. Here you go. It's yours. Let me deed it on over to you. So, ultimately, like, that's probably the best way, right? If someone takes you, like they pay you, like, here, let me write you a check. Let me give you some cash, put some money in your pocket for you taking my house, my problem property from me. Like, who wouldn't want that, right? So that's like the ideal. That's the creme de la creme. That's like the highest ideal, and that happens every so often, right? It's not like everyday occurrence. But you know, talk about no money down strategies. Okay, like, so what's the best way, for us to do this? Well, obviously, like, we want no money down, like, or as little to no money as possible. And so, when we're talking to sellers, we can offer that, hey, I will take this property. Will you give it to me for zero, percent down? And, some of them might take that. They'll be like, yeah, you know what? Sure. That's fine. You're helping me out of the situation here. Nine times out of 10, though, some of them want something, or not maybe necessarily want something, but need something. They need it in order to move on to their next step. And so typically what happens is I'm end up paying like $2,500, $2,000, 3,000 maybe at max if there's, maybe a little bit of equity or something like that. But it's mainly just, hey, I'm going to take over this problem because you have this problem and there's, problems with this property. And here's some money to move on to go to your next place. But what if you're low on funds? What if you don't have the cash? You're like, I don't have the money, right? I don't have the $2,000 to do that. How can I do that? Well, okay, you can borrow it from somebody. So that's, option number one is just like, hey, borrow this. You're going to get it from someone else. That's obviously no money out of your pocket. So that's no money down. But what if you don't have anyone that you can, lean on reliably, or they trust you to give you this money? What else can you do? Well, here it is you can go ahead and let's say you have, a service that you can offer. Let's say you're a massage therapist or something like that, or you're a piano instructor or tutor, and you can offer, hey, I will give you, X in exchange. I will give you massages for, once a week for an entire year, whatever. Or I will give you, your kids piano lessons for 2 years, or whatever it may be. You're just looking at, creative ways that it costs that you can use your services, your skills, your talents to offset any financial investment into a property. That's one way. Um, or let's say if you have credit cards, you can offer to buy their groceries, up to like, $400 a month, or, their gas, something like that. Use your credit card, then pay it off monthly. Do that for a year. I'll pay your gas bill for a year, or I'll give you free tacos for a year. Every Tuesday, I'm going to give you and your family free tacos. Uh, they may be sick of tacos after a while, but you get the idea. Like, become creative with this whole process. That's one way. Say you have something of value that you could trade to them, like they want it. Let's say that you have a vintage guitar or something like that that was handed to you, or you have some gems. It doesn't have to be cash, but you have some gems. Or so when I used to work for a jeweler, and he would go down to the diamond district down in Los Angeles, and he would buy these diamonds at wholesale prices, like beautiful, beautiful, beautiful diamonds. And he'd be picking them up for like, a couple $100, and he'd come back and then he'd sell them for thousands and thousands of dollars. Like, if you have the ability to go buy something for wholesale at, below retail market price, and then go and you can then exchange that and trade it for, for full retail. So, for example, let's say I bought, $5,000 worth of diamonds, but I picked it up for only, $2,000. I can then take those diamonds and say, hey, look, I'm going to give you $5,000 of real value, street value, for these retail price for these diamonds in exchange for this property as a down payment. So that's another idea. Um, or let's say you have a boat that you're not using anymore, or some jet skis, or an old car that's, it's not a junker car, but like it's an old classic car, but just kind of sits there, maybe needs a little bit of work. I know a guy that he's buying a property, and he fixes up muscle cars. Like, he does a fantastic job, and this guy he's using that as a down payment. He has like a Chevelle that he's fixed up, like a '66 Chevelle, like beautiful, beautiful. And the guy's like, yeah, I'll you can buy my house and give me that car. I have no problem with that. And the guy has like 400,000 in equity too. So, like, it's not like, uh, he's like upside down on or something like that and walking away with like a brand new car. So it's like, he's also obviously not also, trading a muscle car for $400,000 in equity. That's not it either. But let's say you got into cryptocurrency. Here's another idea. So you got into cryptocurrency, you bought Bitcoin when it was like, only 7,000, and I hear it is like, it's flirting with 40,000, and I believe it has the potential to go even higher through the end of the year. So I mean, cryptocurrency is another way that you could do it. Trucks, RVs, and here's another way too is land. Like I have a bunch of raw land that I have and that I've picked up for at a discount. 'Cause that's what I do. I buy stuff. I'm a professional buyer. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a professional house buyer or property buyer, and I buy stuff at a discount and turn around and sell it at a higher price. That's what I do. And so I have a bunch of property that I bought as a discount that I can turn around and sell. So if I bought an acre of land for say $1,000 and it's worth maybe 17,000, I can then exchange that acre of land. Like, hey, you know what? Here's an acre of land for 17,000 in exchange for a down payment for someone's house. So there are just many different ideas. And here's the whole point that I mentioned, and why I'm mentioning this is you're only limited by your own creativity. Whatever you can come up with as far as an idea or a solution. I mean, I've been offered dump trucks, cement mixers, all these things. They're like, "You're in construction, you're gonna need this someday." I'm like, I'm not necessarily in construction, but, I lost you. Vacations. Vacations are phenomenal. So, I used to have uh, a friend who was in a travel agency who would give me phenomenal packages on deals, like, Cancun trips, super, super, super cheap that, all inclusive and stuff like that. You can offer these to people. You can offer these all inclusive, resort packages. So maybe the resort package only costs you $500 for like 3 nights, 2 nights, 3 days, whatever it is, it's like $500, and then they get, and you pay for their airfare as well. And I mean, you're into what, maybe $1,000, but the retail value of something like that, it might be what, like, 2,500, $3,000. So again, you're only limited by your own creativity and what the seller's willing to take. And so, bounce you there. Just that's really what it comes down to is how creative can you get, and really what does the sellers need? Like what is their their overall need that they want to have satisfied with you buying this property. Now here's a really 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 clever way to buy property with no money down, without having to exchange something of value that you possibly have and maybe you don't want to give up. Like maybe you don't want to give up your 1966 Les Paul guitar, Gibson Les Paul. Maybe you don't want to give up your 1966 Chevelle. I don't know. I'm stuck on 66 for a while here, but uh, you know, maybe there's all these different things. So let's say that the seller doesn't have a pressing need, which means like they don't have a need for cash today. Like they're not in like a huge situation where like they need cash. You can offer them as a down payment a promissory note. You can actually give them a personal note and with a promise to repay. Like I will give you a promise note for $20,000. Pay in full and doable. Do paid in full in 24 months or whatever at X amount of interest. So not only are they getting the down payment, they're also getting the interest with it as well. And these are just some beautiful, creative ways for you to go ahead and to use uh, leverage. Basically, is what it is. You're leveraging that note to purchase this property. And let's say it's to run this full that's out. Let's say you're buying a property that you want to fix up, but you're like, I really need this cash to fix this property up because it needs some repairs. And so you give a note to the seller for $20,000. They sell you the property, seller financed, and you have this note that's due and payable. They basically become your equity partner in the transaction. And you fix up the property, you sell it, and when you sell it, that note is paid off. So you bought this property with no money, and you're able to use your creative ways to fund it. So it's just phenomenal, guys. Just wanted to share this. There's a lot of ideas. There's many more ways for you to buy real estate. If you're intrigued by this idea of using seller financing as a way to grow your real estate portfolio or to make wealth in real estate, go ahead and comment below. I have a link that I'm going to put up. I don't know how to actually do it while it's live, so I can't do it. But I'm going to put a link up that I have a deep dive into seller financing. It's a 2.5 hour course, just a class basically. It's an online class where I am teaching you and answering your questions. There is a fee because it's limited. We limited this group to 10 people, and if by the end you're just not satisfied, you're like, "This was a complete waste of my time, Ryan. I don't know why I even came." I gladly will completely refund your money. There's no reason for you to have paid for something that wasn't of value to you. Um, but we do have to take some money to reserve the seat because it is limited. My time invested into it. Also, want to make sure that we're having the highest quality of training because I'm able to answer your questions and focus on you. So anyway, if you're interested in something like that, go ahead and comment below. Just say, uh, I don't know what to say. Say classroom. Say I'm interested in the class. I don't know, and I'll go ahead and put that link there. And you guys, if you're intrigued by it, you want to join at no risk, go ahead and do so. If not, then hey, no problem at all. Thanks for coming and watching these videos. Just remember, you're only one deal away, just one, from changing your entire financial future. It just takes that one deal to get a taste of what's possible, and then you're off to the races. All right, guys, you have a great week. And I turn this thing off. How? I am such a noob at this. Oh my gosh. Maybe it's this button.